It was 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday when my phone lit up like a tiny interrogation lamp. Not a meme, not a "you awake" text, not a bank alert, a court notification, electronic service of process. My full name in bold, my address, a case number, a PDF attachment with that clean, official formatting that makes your stomach drop before your brain even catches up. I opened the file and felt something leave the room. Not my soul, something more practical, my denial. Because the person suing me wasn't a stranger. It wasn't a former client, an angry tenant, or some random scam. It was my sister. And she wasn't suing me because she thought I'd made a mistake. She was suing me because she wanted to win. She was accusing me of fiduciary negligence as trustee of our grandfather's estate, demanding the court remove me, freeze everything, and hand her control to protect the beneficiaries. Translation: she wanted the estate to cover the debts of her failing business right now, before the bills caught up and the lights went out. I stared at the blue light reflecting in my glasses, and the audacity wasn't just insulting, it was breathtaking. Before we go any further, drop a comment with your city and the current time where you are right now. I want to see how far this story travels, because when your own blood tries to legally erase you, the world suddenly feels very big and very small at the same time. I didn't scream. I didn't throw my phone. I didn't call our parents, Elaine and Grant, to ask if they knew their youngest daughter had just declared war on the rest of us. In my line of work, we call that a tell. If you react immediately, you give the other side information. You tell them the hit landed. You tell them you're scrambling. You tell them you're hurt. And I wasn't going to feed them a single data point. I walked down the hallway to my home office, the room my sister Tessa always mocked. She called it a freezer with Wi-Fi. She said it like it was an insult. To me, it was a compliment. No vision boards, no scented candles, no inspirational quotes about abundance taped to the wall. Just 3 high-resolution monitors, an industrial shredder that eats staples like candy, a locked file cabinet, and a small server that hums like a sleeping animal. The temperature in that room is always 68 degrees. Not because I'm dramatic, because cold rooms make cold decisions easier. I sat down, woke the screens, entered my 2-factor code, and opened a folder I created years ago during a moment of honesty I never admitted out loud. The folder name was simple: Tessa. Paper trail. Inside were subfolders by year. Some people keep receipts because they're petty. I keep receipts because I'm a forensic accountant, and I learned early that certain people don't remember what they did. They remember what they can get away with. Tessa's business was called Glow House, a luxury wellness club with glass walls, clean towels, soft lighting, and influencer selfies that made it look like success. In real life, Glow House wasn't a business. It was a lifestyle costume with a cash burn problem. She didn't sell a product. She sold a mood. She sold high-vibration networking. That was her phrase. High-vibration people, high-vibration rooms, high-vibration spending. And for years, the bills for that vibration landed on me. I opened a fresh spreadsheet and started typing. Date, amount, recipient, memo, proof. I began with the first big transfer, the seed money. The one my parents refused to call a loan because they hated the word loan. They preferred softer words. Support, belief, family, $40,000. Memo line, initial build-out. Then came the downtown lease deposit she claimed was non-negotiable. Then the monthly gap payments when her membership projections didn't materialize. Then the brand photography weekend that suspiciously looked like a vacation. Then imported sauna panels she rejected because the wood didn't feel spiritual. Then the consultant who was paid to optimize the customer journey, and somehow that optimization involved a champagne brunch. The numbers filled the sheet like a confession. The total climbed past 50,000, past 90, past 140, past 200. I didn't take breaks. I didn't stop to make tea. I didn't call a friend to talk about my feelings. Because something strange happens when betrayal becomes measurable. Feelings stop being fog. They become math. By 3:10 a.m., I had a total sitting at the bottom of the spreadsheet like a verdict. $312,480. That wasn't just money. That was time. That was safety. That was the house I never bought, the vacations I never took, the nights I went to bed telling myself I was being mature and supportive when I was really just being harvested. And now she wanted our grandfather's estate too. I saved the spreadsheet. Then I made a backup. Then I made a backup of the backup. Most people think silence is nothing, an absence, a void. They're wrong. Silence is a container. When you don't respond to an aggressor, they pour their own anxiety into the empty space. They start guessing. Did she get it? Is she crying? Is she calling a lawyer? Is she coming over? They spiral, they project, they invent, and while they're busy imagining, you're busy preparing. 2 days later, at 9:02 a.m., my phone buzzed. A text from my mother, Elaine. "We need to talk. Family meeting tonight. 7:00 p.m. Please be kind." Tessa is very upset. Very upset. In our family, that phrase always meant the same thing. Tessa wants money, and reality told her no. I showed up at 6:59 p.m. No wine, no dessert, no apology casserole, just a black portfolio with a printed summary of the lawsuit, highlighted and tabbed like a textbook. Their living room looked unchanged. Expensive, neutral furniture, a candle burning something that smelled like wealth, framed photos that made us look closer than we'd ever been. Tessa was on the couch clutching a throw pillow like it was a shield. Elaine and Grant sat on either side of her like security. My mother started first, voice tight with that controlled panic she always saved for situations where our family's image was at risk. "Mara, this has gone too far. You need to settle this. She's devastated." I didn't sit. "I didn't escalate anything," I said. "She sued me." Tessa's face twisted, tears appearing on cue, perfect lighting in her eyes like she'd practiced. "I had to," she snapped. "You froze distributions. You embarrassed me. Vendors are calling like I'm some scammer. I built something and you're trying to take it away." Grant leaned forward, delivering disappointment like it was his job title. "She's building a future. You have stability. You can absorb the hit." Absorb the hit, like I was a wall, like she was weather. I slid the lawsuit summary onto the coffee table. "You're accusing me of negligence," I said calmly. "So let's talk about responsibility." Tessa pointed at a corkboard she'd propped on the side table. Yes, a literal board like a middle school project, except this one was covered in luxury resort photos, spa retreats, a private jet, magazine cutouts that screamed wellness empire. "This is what I'm building," she said, voice shaking with righteous fury. "This is the future of our family, and you're sabotaging me because you're jealous." Jealous. There it was, the favorite word of people who treat boundaries like betrayal. "I'm not jealous," I said. "I'm depleted." Her eyes sharpened, the tears evaporating into pure anger. "I'm not dropping the suit," she hissed. "And if you try to fight me, I will go online. I will tell everyone you stole from Grandpa. I'll tag your firm. I'll ruin your reputation." The room went quiet, and what shocked me wasn't the threat. It was what didn't happen after it. My parents didn't correct her. They didn't tell her she'd crossed a line. They didn't say, "That's your sister." They looked at me, waiting for the old version of me to fold. I nodded once. "Do it," I said. Tessa blinked. "What?" "Post whatever you want," I repeated. "But before you do, make sure your own documents are clean." Then I walked to the door and closed it gently behind me. No slam, no drama, just a click, a final sound. That night, I didn't go home to cry. I didn't go home to drink wine and rehearse arguments in the mirror. I went home to hire a predator. The next morning, I sat in a glass office across from Damon Klein, a litigation attorney whose watch looked like it could pay a year of Tessa's rent. He didn't do family disputes. He didn't do hurt feelings. He didn't do reconciliation. He did fraud, corporate warfare, and lawsuits that ended in someone's life exploding on paper. I didn't tell him my sister was mean to me. I gave him facts: the suit, the estate, the threats, the history of transfers, the pattern of misrepresentation. He skimmed my summary and looked up slowly. If we counter, he said, you understand what happens. There's no going back. I don't want to go back, I said. File it. Over the next 72 hours, I built the thing that changed the entire power dynamic. Not a folder, not a PDF, a physical artifact. I went to a professional print shop and printed bank statements, wire confirmations, emails where she begged for just one more month, texts where she promised repayment after the next funding round, invoices that didn't match the story, screenshots of posts that contradicted her business trips. I had it bound in black leather with silver lettering. Financial support and related communications, 2019 to 2025. It was thick enough to bruise someone. Not that I wanted to, but it felt good to hold something heavy that wasn't my guilt. Then Damon suggested requests for admission for my parents. Simple, clean, brutal. Admit that between March 2022 and October 2024, you did not make mortgage payments on the residence. Admit the payments originated from my account. Admit there is no written agreement stating these payments were gifts. It was a logical cage. If they admitted it, the debt was established. If they denied it, records would prove it, and courts don't appreciate theater. I signed. My signature looked different than it used to. Less soft. More final. Tessa's attorneys demanded every estate record in discovery. They were hunting for the story where I manipulated Grandpa, where I pressured him, where I engineered the will. What they didn't know was that my grandfather, Harold Sinclair, had been a judge. He didn't keep paperwork. He kept exhibits. During discovery, I went through boxes with neat handwritten labels: tax, trust, property, MISC. Then I found a slim folder that made my pulse jump. Tessa, loan. Inside was a notarized promissory note, $60,000. Tessa borrowing from Grandpa. Signed, dated, clean. Stamped across the front in red ink, in Grandpa's shaky handwriting, was one word: defaulted. Behind it was a note in his handwriting, calm and devastating. Loan called due to misrepresentation of use. Funds diverted to personal purchase and travel. Access to trust restricted thereafter. I stared until the words stopped being words and became a verdict. Grandpa hadn't cut her out because he liked me more. He cut her out because she'd tried the same trick on him, and he saw it coming. Damon read it and smiled without warmth. "This is the spine of your case," he said. "Now we need the headshot." That night, I did what I always do when my world tilts. I audited. I pulled corporate records, vendor details, lease paperwork, anything I could trace. Tessa always bragged about investors, but she never showed terms, never showed closing documents, only champagne photos and vague captions about big moves. So I searched deeper. I found a pitch deck uploaded to a fundraising portal. Clean design, smooth language, bold projections, revenue graphs, growth curves, expansion plan. Then I reached the leadership slide and my throat went dry. Mara Sinclair, CPA, Controller, Financial Oversight. My name, my credential, my license, and the photo wasn't even me. It was a stock image, some generic brunette smiling like she enjoyed being lied about. I kept scrolling and found a digital consent page, signed with a signature that was supposed to be mine. It wasn't even a good forgery. She copied an old loop style I stopped using years ago. I leaned back in my chair and felt something colder than anger settle into my bones. Because this wasn't family drama. This was identity fraud, investor misrepresentation, and a professional licensing nightmare with my name taped to the front of it like a target. We scheduled mediation at a neutral office downtown. Tessa arrived in a crisp white blazer, like she was starring in a documentary about herself. My parents came early, nervous and hopeful, like they still believed this could end with hugs. Tessa's lawyer looked tired in the way lawyers get when they've been lied to for months and are only just now smelling smoke. Tessa sat down and said, "Let's make this quick. I have a call with a brand partner." "There is no call," I said. I slid the binder onto the conference table. The thud did something to the room. Even the air seemed to pause. "What is that?" Grant asked, voice thin. I opened to a flagged page. "Let's start simple," I said. "Your business retreat to Sedona, $9,840, charged as market research." Tessa rolled her eyes. "It was networking." I turned the page. "Here's your Instagram story from that same week. You were at a bachelorette party wearing a sash that said future trophy wife." Her jaw tightened. I flipped again. "Here's a lease payment sent to a company called E&G Consulting." My mother's face changed color. "That's..." she began. "I agree," I said softly. "It's not nothing. It's evidence." Then I slid the pitch deck across the table like a blade. "And here is where you listed me as your controller. Here is where you used my license as marketing." Her lawyer snatched it, scanned fast, and his expression drained like someone pulled a plug. He looked at Tessa like he'd just realized he'd been defending a lit match in a gasoline spill. "Is this real?" he asked. Tessa laughed too quickly. "It was temporary. Mara was going to sign. We just needed to submit before the deadline." Her lawyer's voice dropped to a whisper. "That's not a deadline issue. That's fraud." Silence. Real silence this time. Not dramatic, not performative, not the kind of silence that tries to manipulate you. The kind of silence that shows up when reality enters the room carrying consequences. Tessa's eyes flicked to me, smaller now. "You wouldn't," she said softly. "I'm your sister." I nodded once. "And you sued me," I said, "and threatened my career, and used my license like it was a prop." I closed the binder. "Here are your options," I said. Option A. You withdraw the lawsuit today. You sign a non-disparagement agreement. You stop using my name and credential immediately. You issue written corrections wherever you used my identity. And you agree to a structured repayment plan for what you took. Elaine's voice trembled. "And option B?" I stood. "Option B is, I protect myself formally," I said, "and I stop protecting you privately." Tessa's eyes filled, but it wasn't grief. It was fear. The kind of fear people feel when they realize the person they've been exploiting finally stopped being edible. Her lawyer leaned toward her. "Sign," he hissed. "Now." Tessa looked at our parents, searching for rescue. Elaine looked away. Grant looked old. Finally, Tessa's shoulders collapsed and she nodded, barely. "Fine," she whispered. I didn't smile. I didn't celebrate. I didn't feel triumphant. I just watched the papers get signed like a judge watching a sentence get recorded. Because this wasn't revenge. It was containment. 3 months later, I did what I should have done years ago. I separated my life from theirs. I sold the lake house Grandpa left in the trust quietly, without announcements, without staging, without a big family debate. I moved into a modern condo in a building where the doorman didn't know my last name and didn't care. I changed my routines. I locked down my online footprint, and I blocked numbers, not out of rage, out of hygiene. People misunderstand boundaries. They think boundaries are punishment. Boundaries are sanitation. You don't keep contaminated things in your kitchen, and you don't keep contaminated people in your life. Late at night, I still think about the sunk cost fallacy. The reason people keep investing in a losing proposition because they've already paid so much. They think if they pay a little more, they'll finally earn the love, the gratitude, the acknowledgement. But love isn't a rebate program. You don't get rewarded for overpaying. Sometimes the only way to save your future is to stop financing your past. One night, I opened the external drive where I keep that old folder, the paper trail, the screenshots, the binder scans, not because I missed them, because auditors don't destroy evidence. We archive it, encrypted, labeled, stored, not as a threat, as a reminder. A ledger doesn't care who cries. It only cares what's true. And the truth, finally, belonged to me. This is Epic Reddit Files. If you made it to the end, type ledger in the comments, because if you've ever realized your own family was a bad investment, you're not alone. And the next time someone calls you stingy for having boundaries, remember, a checkbook is for spending, a ledger is for judgment.